This property belongs to the HOA. That's what she screamed, top of her lungs, voice cracking like she was auditioning for a soap opera, when I pulled into my own damn driveway after 7 years away. The HOA president, this self-appointed queen of suburban bureaucracy, called 911 on me not once but twice, telling the cops I was trespassing on land I inherited from my grandfather. By the weekend, the whole neighborhood was rubbernecking, gathering at their windows, popcorn in hand, as this drama went off the rails. I thought it was just about parking rights, maybe a spat over where the trash cans go. Boy, was I clueless. The plot twist that came later? Nobody, literally nobody, saw it coming. Not the neighbors, not the sheriff, not even yours truly. What this HOA Karen was actually capable of shocked everyone. Drop a comment if you've ever crossed swords with a power-drunk HOA president, because what you're about to hear gets wild. Picture this, 8 a.m. Tuesday. I've just done a 7-hour haul back to my hometown after 7 years away. All I want is a shower and a coffee, something that doesn't taste like burnt office carpet. Instead, my driveway, Granddad's driveway, the one I learned to ride my bike on, is blocked by a woman with a clipboard and a white BMW, looking like she's checking passports at the border. She's stringing up a banner that reads, HOA Compliance Checkpoint. I'm sitting there thinking, did I stumble into an airport? I just want to go home, for God's sake. So I roll down the window, try to play nice. First and last time I make that mistake. Ma'am, you're blocking my driveway. She whips around, eyes narrowed, like I just asked her to give me a kidney. Clipboard raised, voice in full Karen mode. This is HOA property access control. Are you authorized? Authorized to enter my own house. You know what I mean? Her perfume mixes with the fresh paint on her banner. This was a planned production. You could smell the effort. I tell her my name. Raymond Rivera. Say this is my grandfather's house. She gasps, not like, oh, surprise, but like she just spotted a ghost. Impossible. This property belongs to the HOA. Excuse me? Hostile takeover while I was gone. Did I miss the memo? Now I'm confused and a little pissed. She's blocking my garage, calling me a trespasser on my own inheritance. I get out, slow. Who knows if she's packing more than a clipboard, and show her the deed. She stares at it like she's on CSI, then announces, these are forgeries. Professional counterfeits. What? She tears up the deed, throws it in my face. I'm standing there in disbelief as she stomps the papers, screaming about fraud. I'm thinking, lady, if I was forging documents, wouldn't I at least shower first? But she's not done. She pulls out her phone and dials 911, shrieking about unauthorized individual breaching HOA secured property. I'm just standing in my driveway being called a criminal mastermind. Neighbors start peeking out, Mrs. Clark with her iPad taking photos, Mr. Morgan on his porch with his phone. Like, thanks, folks, glad to be your entertainment. Group chats are lighting up. HOA Karen alert on Maple Street. Bring popcorn. Sheriff Davis shows up, and you can tell this isn't his first HOA rodeo. Pamela. Yeah, I'll call her by name. Turns on the Victim Act, claims I'm trespassing with fake documents. The sheriff looks at me, looks at her, looks at the torn papers, and you can just see him die inside. Ma'am, this is a civil property dispute, not a criminal trespass. She snaps back, criminal, with a drama pause like she's Pablo Escobar. Now she starts unrolling literal red tape, temporary HOA boundary, pending resolution, around my yard. Sheriff asks, ma'am, what are you doing? She says, establishing clear territorial boundaries. Even the sheriff looks ready to quit. Then he drops the bomb. Your HOA incorporation is from 2018. His deed is from 1987. You could hear a pin drop. Pamela turns white, red, then purple, mood ring status. Clerical mistakes, she shrieks, wrapped in red tape. She hurls her clipboard, nails a fence post, should have been a picture. I'm the elected president, she yells. Elected by who? The lawn gnomes? Neighbors are now fully invested. Mrs. Clark switches to video. Sheriff gives Pamela a warning for abusing emergency services and leaves. 5 minutes later, she posts a fake-looking official notice on my door, complete with a bootleg logo. I pull it off. She calls the non-emergency line, reporting an active violation. That night, I'm awake, staring at red tape smelling fresh as a bakery, realizing Pamela planned this whole circus. If her HOA is fake, what's she really been doing for years? Next morning, I grab the paper and, no lie, Granddad's white picket fence is construction cone orange, every 6 feet stenciled with violation. I'm in my pajamas, coffee mug in hand, staring at what looks like a traffic cone massacre. Laminated sign says, Official HOA Code Violation Marking Procedures, Pamela Mitchell, President. Thank God for Ring cameras. Footage shows her, 2:47 a.m., spray painting in Nike walkers. When I confront her, she says, I marked violations per association standards. At 3 a.m., with a spray can? She's got an answer for everything. So I start pressure washing the fence. Normal, right? But a little orange spray gets on her BMW. Pamela loses it, calling it intentional destruction of property. Then she grabs my hose and starts spraying me. 2 grown adults, 9 a.m., water fight in the driveway. Tommy, my son, drives by 3 times. Who does that unless you're spying? That's when I get tactical, motion sensor sprinklers on my property line. Next time Pamela steps on my lawn, she gets soaked. She calls it assault with water weapons, says I installed dangerous traps. I'm documenting everything. Paint cans, shoe prints, fake logos. That night, Eleanor, old neighbor, acts spooked, counting on her fingers, then vanishing when I wave. Something's got her scared, and it's not just Karen drama. The following morning, Tommy's car drives by again. Weird, since he supposedly lives 3 hours away. I call him, says it's for work. Something's up. That Thursday, a chainsaw wakes me at 6 a.m. My newly cleaned fence is chopped up, boards everywhere, sawdust like a lumberyard. Ring camera shows Pamela's BMW, 2:30 a.m., and a chainsaw job that looks like a toddler's art project. Later that morning, Pamela drags out a folding table, tries to set up a compliance booth. The table collapses, she tumbles into Mrs. Clark's flower bed. Neighbors are now laughing out loud, watching her untangle herself, wrapped in banners, dirt in her hair, trying to run a fake HOA with a My Little Pony clipboard. But what makes my skin crawl is the list of neighbor names on her paperwork, with red notes next to each. My name at the top, covered in more red ink than a failed math test. Surveillance? What kind of show is she running? Leaf blower in hand, I accidentally blow her fake notices across 3 lawns. Papers everywhere, Pamela chasing them in heels, safety vest up to her ribs. Neighbors gather. She tries to get signatures for standard authorizations. Mrs. Clark points out she's bleeding from the rose bushes. It's pure chaos. Then the group chat blows up with screenshots of the circus. Tommy shows up, supposedly to help with cleanup, but instead, he's quizzing neighbors about what they signed. Ignoring me. Red flag. I finally demand to see Pamela's incorporation papers. The dates don't add up. HOA filed 2018. Granddad's deed 1987 to 31 years. She's claimed authority that didn't exist. What's she been collecting money for? The final straw? I spot Eleanor, 78, forced by Pamela to spray paint boundaries, hands shaking, scared out of her wits. Mrs. Clark yells, "That's elder abuse." And suddenly, 3 neighbors step between Pamela and Eleanor. Real solidarity, finally. Eleanor whispers to Mrs. Clark, "The money, it's not going where she says." Turns out, Eleanor's got records, detailed notebooks, budget lines matching Pamela's, medical bills, projects that never happened, checks written to a P.O. box. Pamela's personal account. When confronted, Pamela screams clerical errors, but the neighbors have had it. My own son, Tommy, is outed. He's been paid by Pamela to coordinate neighborhood information, which really means spying on me and other residents. I find backup files in his phone, daily logs, surveillance notes, even coaching from Pamela for her fake assessor cousin. The final twist, Pamela's professional property assessment, is a sham. Her cousin from Tucson, used car salesman, not a licensed assessor. Audio recordings reveal Pamela's playbook. Use technical terms, mention state regs, deflect questions about credentials. When the truth comes out, neighbors band together, call in county officials, and organize as an evidence committee. Tommy, racked with guilt, flips, gives up every bit of digital evidence. Investigators dig deeper, and the rabbit hole just keeps going. Pamela, real name Margaret Walsh, has a criminal record, multiple fake identities, and a history of HOA scams across several states. The whole time she's been using fake authority, collecting fees, threatening seniors with eviction, and funneling HOA money to her husband's medical bills through a shell P.O. box. The feds show up. Arrests, asset seizures, the works. Neighbors get restitution checks. Real community springs up. No more fake compliance. No more intimidation. Eleanor becomes the local expert on senior protection. Tommy rebuilds trust with his dad, helps repair the fence. Mrs. Clark leads neighborhood meetings for actual improvements. No clipboards, no drama, just folks doing what they should have been doing all along. Property values rise, trust returns, laughter replaces red tape, and the old white picket fence, now rebuilt, stronger than ever, marks the spot where one con artist tried to rule by fear and fraud and lost everything to a community that finally found its voice. But here's the real kicker. Turns out, our little soap opera wasn't unique. Investigators tie Margaret's fingerprints to dozens of similar scams across the country. Fake HOAs, embezzled fees, stolen identities, same playbook, different zip codes. Makes you wonder how many other neighborhoods are living under the thumb of a fake authority, just waiting for someone to stand up and say, enough. So let me ask you, if you were in my shoes, would you have spotted the scam before it got this far? Do you trust your HOA? Or do you think there's a Margaret lurking somewhere in your midst? Drop your story or your opinion in the comments. What's the line between community rules and outright abuse of power? And hey, if you made it this far, you're officially one of us. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and stick around for the next saga, because around here, truth is always stranger than fiction.